How's everybody doing? You guys might remember me from last night. A lot of speeches. This is the last one tonight, so enjoy it, everybody. December 17th, 1987. A new Klein baby comes in the world. My parents don't trust me at the hospital, so I'm forced to stay at home and wait for them to come home with the new baby. In walks Judy and Larry with a brand new baby girl, and my instant reaction was disappointment. I wanted a little brother. Now, Judy tends to embellish a tad, we all know that, but according to Klein folklore, as my mom walked through the door, I was so upset at the fact that I had a sister, I took a plastic football and I chucked it at this new baby. I know that's true. Over the years, my way to deal with this disappointment was the only way I knew how to. That was to treat Jamie like a little brother, and I spent the first 10 years of her life relentlessly terrorizing her like a little brother. Whenever we'd be horsing around the house, I'd take her by the legs, drag her around the house for an hour, one time resulting in a rug burn bad enough she had to sit in an inner tube for a week. Being the strict vegetarian she is, we'd fight. My way to get back, I would hide salami in her pillowcases. One time on vacation, Jamie just got her hair braided. We were in the Bahamas, and the first thing I did was I took a comb and I twisted it 50 times in her hair, resulting in it getting stuck. My dad calling the electrician of the hotel, taking scissors, having to cut it out, leaving a chunk out of Jamie's side. However, as we grew up, things thankfully changed between Jamie and I. We became closer and closer as the years went on. When I went off to college, she'd come up to IU with her friends for the weekend, and I would return that favor any chance I got and go back to Bloomington when she was there. After college, she told me she was moving to Chicago, and while I made fun of her for doing that and following my every single step I took, I secretly was excited that we were going to live in the same city again for the first time in 8 years. It was in Chicago we became even closer. I'd see her at least once a week for dinners, for brunches, and on the weekends, her friends pretty much meshed into my group of friends, and we have one group thanks to Jamie. But there were definitely perks to being in the same city. One of them, I got to meet a lot of the whack job boyfriends. Number two, I got to fly back to Cleveland with her, and I know that means nothing to a lot of you guys, but she has monster meltdowns on flights, and I have video footage that was vetoed. It would have been fantastic. I will email it to anybody. When people asked me if I was going to miss her when she moved to Detroit, I tried to act tough, like I didn't care, but I couldn't hide it. I missed her. Please move back, please. And even, honestly, visiting, I went up to Detroit a month ago and I saw her living in a house in the suburbs with a car in an adult real life, and my mind was blown. But secretly, I thought it was the coolest thing ever seeing that. So, now, Steven, I have way too much on you for not knowing you that long, which is a good sign. All right, so Steven, this is more kind of to everybody. I don't think any of you can fully comprehend what it is like to have this kid as a brother-in-law. He is the only person in my life that I have come across that craves more attention than me. The first time I met Steven was a little unorthodox, and I know you've heard the story, but it was very unorthodox in the dating world. Weeks into the matching on J-Swipe, Jamie thought it would be completely normal to invite him to Cleveland to meet our family. Steven thought it was completely normal to accept that invitation. My parents thought that was completely normal to approve that decision. It was a weird week in the Klein house, but it ended up working out. But I'm all about first impressions. I think they're awkward, I think they're hilarious, and I think they produce great stories. Steven's first weekend in Cleveland. Weeks into matching with Jamie, he crashes my dad's birthday dinner in Cleveland. Prior to dinner that night, he raids Larry's closet, hoards as many 60-year-old man hand-me-down cardigans and blazers that he could carry, and wears one of these new Larry outfits to dinner that night. The next night, we take Steven to a summer party here at Beachmont. And after asking every single mother at the cocktail hour if they had any single honeys for his brother-in-law, I first hear the term that will forever change my relationship with Steven. Player. Weeks later, Jamie and him came to visit me in Chicago. This being my second time ever meeting him. He crashes a night out with a group of my friends, grabs the check, looks at me, looks at everyone, says, player, I got this. I'm like, wow, the balls on that kid, great. 10 minutes later, in his Uber ride home, I have a Venmo request to split half of that with him, which is just insane. When did he win me over? He's getting there. But honestly, the engagement was pretty insane and pretty special. He gave me the heads up ahead of time that he was going to invite 30 to 40 people over to my place and pop the question in front of everyone. My immediate reaction was to tell him that's a horrible idea. Not because I didn't want him to do it, more because I thought it was insanely awkward to do it in front of everybody. But he proved me wrong. Seeing him propose to Jamie in an apartment full of all of our family and friends with Larry and Judy on FaceTime was pretty much one of the coolest things I've experienced with them. And it was honestly, he spoke from the bottom of his heart. It was clear as ever that Jamie meant the world to him. They were perfect together. And I've legit never seen Jamie happier. So cheers to that. Almost there, guys. I wrote this like a year ago, by the way, so. Jamie and Steven, I will leave you guys with this. To Jamie, siblings are really cool. And the fact that it is the only person in your life that you share all the same family with, all the same memories with, and literally the only person on the planet that you share almost every experience growing up with. You can relate to them on a completely different level than you can any of your other friends, and it's been a lot of fun to do with you, Jamie. To Steven, to have someone else in my family who craves as much attention as me will be something that I'll have to get used to, but I'm gonna try really hard. Mazel tov to both you guys. I love you both very much. Let's have fun tonight. Drinks on Larry. Let's get wild.
Mazel tov.